Welcome back to Acuity Brands Bright Ideas on Industrial Sage. We are all stuck at home a lot more than in years past, which has a lot of us looking at some home renovations. And of course, an emerging trend, smart home devices. I'm joined today by Jeff Spencer, Vice President of Smart and Connected Devices at Acuity Brands. Jeff, over the last decade, we've seen a lot of smart home products hit the market. How have these changed our lives?
Hi, Catherine. Thank you. So smart homes really have started to take off, and they started to become mainstream after Amazon launched their Alexa voice assistant platform in 2014, and Google launched the Google Home platform in 2016. And really what we've seen, that adoption rate is far outpacing anything that we've seen in the lighting world, such as LEDs or lighting controls or anything like that. And in fact, it's even outpacing the adoption rate of the smartphones that have since nearly penetrated, fully penetrated the market. So while there's really a lot of benefits that are driving this, just depending on the user and what they're looking for, we can kind of narrow it down to 5 primary smart home value propositions that are having the biggest impact on driving this adoption. And those would be home automation, entertainment, health and wellness, security, and savings. So about home automation, again, we talked about the voice assistants, being able to control any electrical device in your house by voice or really by app from anywhere in the world. It allows you to turn your lights on and off, change your thermostat, lock your doors, just totally control your device, the devices, kind of like just like the Jetsons used to in the old cartoon, right? And then that brings us to security, locking your doors, closing the garage, controlling your lights. It ties into the burglar alarms, the smoke detectors. There's all sorts of sensors you can put in your house now that, when somebody opens a door, the speakers in your house can announce that the door is open. And then there's routines. So routines, that's a new term in the lighting world. It's a smart home term, and it basically replaces schedules and scenes. So routines, by Alexa and Google, we like to say routines are essentially schedules and scenes on steroids. So if you think about it, and this kind of brings us into the entertainment value proposition, if you had a scene where you would put on your wall, you could hit the dinner scene, and that might make the lights in your dining room dim because it's time for dinner. Well, today you could just say, time for dinner, and those lights will dim and they'll warm, and it'll put on some background music, and it might close your blinds, and it could do several other things. So one voice command can now do 7 or 8 things instead of pushing a button just to dim the light. So as you can see, it does a whole lot more. It can set the mood, really adds a lot of entertainment value to the house, and it incorporates that music. So because of the voice assistants, a lot of these devices, they have speakers and microphones, so that speaker gives us an opportunity to really put some high quality music throughout the entire house. And then a lot of these voice assistants also have skills that have games just for the entertainment value. So that entertainment value has become really important. And then there's the health and wellness side. So there's skills like to help you with your circadian rhythms that'll make your lights start off warm in the morning, and then they'll cool up until midday, and then they warm in the evening just to kind of simulate the sky outside. There's all sorts of sensors, and there's the no touch control because it's becoming more and more important for people to have disinfect and not touch high touch surfaces like wall switches or door locks. Now you can control those with your voice.
Right.
Finally, there's the savings, and there's the energy savings, of course, with the lighting controls, and then water savings with like sprinkler systems and things like that. So those are really kind of the 5 main drivers that we're seeing.
It really does seem like the possibilities could be endless with all of the different devices. Now, the world has changed a lot in recent months. How has this impacted the adoption of these smart home devices?
Well, I'd say, the biggest change, of course, recently that we're all dealing with is the pandemic, and that's changed the world forever. Really, experts are predicting that that's going to change the world permanently, even more than 9/11 did. And so when people talk about the new normal, that's because we don't expect it to ever go back to exactly the way it is. And a big part of that is the home becoming much more central to people's lives. We're seeing the impact in the residential market with people moving from the city to the suburbs now that they can work remote. And people, as a result, are moving up to maybe bigger homes, or they're upgrading the homes that they're in. And when we look at the psychology of the consumers in this new normal, they're looking for ways to fix up their homes and their home offices, ways to make working and learning from home easier and more fun. They're looking for ways to entertain the family. So the value of entertainment and health and wellness is really picking up. And then they're also, looking for easy solutions. So, the permanent effects of COVID is focusing on cleaning and disinfecting those high touch surfaces. So the touchless control with voice controller app is going to be more important than ever. Online shopping and delivering, it's driving smart home device adoption to ensure that those deliveries are secured, are securely delivered and without somebody, taking them off your front porch. And it's really, people are just transforming the way they're working remote and learning remote. One of the things that we're seeing is if you're going to be inside all day, a lot of times people want the lights to somewhat stimulate that circadian rhythm that you see outside. So, people are coming out with lights that, are warm in the morning and they cool, up until the midday, and then they warm through the rest of the day. So those are the kinds of things that people are seeing.
I'm glad you brought up the lighting and the changing of the circadian rhythm. I'd like to ask, what are the benefits of integrating this smart home technology within a lighting system or light fixtures?
The long term is a seamless integration into the home. Again, kind of like the Jetsons, where there's no clutter on the countertops. Really when Amazon and Google came out with their devices, those were a means to an end. They had to have something for you to be able to talk to for their smart assistant. But there's going to come a time that we look back and we laugh at the back in the 20s when we had a box on a counter that we used to plug into a wall to talk to it, because it's going to be completely integrated into your home. And even if you look at the evolution of the Amazon Echo, from the first generation Echo to the latest Echo input, it just keeps getting smaller and smaller because they want it to kind of disappear. So that optimal form factor is your lighting, because it's in the center of your room up above the fray, but it disappears into the house. And it's also actually the optimal location for a smart speaker and a sound system, because you can evenly now spread that music throughout a room, just like we want to evenly spread light throughout a room. It simplifies the smart home with a platform that can incorporate all this technology, so you have that same experience in every single room of the house. You can just tell it what to do and it does it. So, ultimately that tabletop voice assistants, again, those are a means, and then that seamless integration is the end game.
Right, and lights are in every room of your house, so why not start there with the foundation? Jeff, thank you for introducing us to this really great foundation of smart homes using lighting. Jeff is going to join us for our next episode. Please join us. We're going to dive deeper into the realm of smart home technology.